Hi, I'm Charles Clark. When it comes to monitoring my virtualization environment, honestly, I'm a big picture kind of guy. Now, I could get all the alerts and metrics and traps and log events and everything in the world, but honestly, I'm just too lazy to piece it all together to tell me if something is good or if something is bad. I want to go the other way. Tell me if something is good or bad, and if it's bad, then I can drill in and figure out, why it's broken, what remediation steps need to be performed. The Veeam management pack for VMware does a great job of joining those dots for me, giving me that big picture view, and then letting me drill in to see what areas of I need to focus on. So I'm going to do a quick demonstration now, and my focus for this demonstration is going to be on the new dashboards that we've included in the Veeam MP for VMware. So here's my Ops Manager monitoring console. Remember, everything's in Ops Manager. Everything I'm going to show you here is out of the box. There's nothing I've done that's customized. And we'll start right at the top level. So I'm going to look at my cluster dashboard. So here you can see the health state for the cluster. You can see organized by vCenter. You can see some inventory information about the cluster as well, so that information is all at my fingertips. And then of course if I do need to drill in and figure out why, you can see they're both in an unhealthy state here. So if I need to see why that is, I can use standard Ops Manager tools. For example, I could open an alert view, I could open Health Explorer, or actually I could drill in and take a look at one of the analysis dashboards. So for example here I could look at the memory usage analysis, and I can see the memory usage for the whole cluster, memory usage for hosts in the cluster over the last 24 hours, and I can also see all the alerts that relate to the cluster, the hosts in that cluster, and the VMs on that host, on those hosts, and see the activity essentially that's been occurring on those resources. And again, it's about putting that information at my fingertips to make good decisions about troubleshooting. So we're able to provide similar health state breakdown and summaries for data stores. So here we can see the health of my data stores with handy inventory information for hosts, for networking, and of course for virtual machines. So I can see organized based on vCenter and based on data center and cluster this health state of the virtual machine. So at a glance I can look inside this cluster and see the first 5 VMs that are in a warning state, and then in a critical state, then warning state, then healthy state. And then of course from here I can simply drill in and see what it is about those that that may have caused that issue. So here you can see it's an uptime monitor for that particular virtual machine. So getting that nice summary of health state and just laying that out for me is one thing, but what about performance? So we can then take it to the next layer and really look at those resources, the resources I'm most interested in, and see summaries of performance. So again, let me just pick an example here of data stores. So you can see we have the top data stores listed by free space, use space, IOPS, and latency. So again, putting that information at fingertips. Now, if I need to drill in from here, the task pane becomes context sensitive. So for example, you can see I have relatively high latency for this data store that I've highlighted here. And I can drill into the task pane and simply perform a data store latency analysis for that data store. So you can see that there was a particular spike over the last 24 hours that actually could be responsible for skewing those figures. But I can see the virtual machines that are in that data store. I can see the historical trending for latency for the data store, for VMs on the data store, and then use that as the basis for my troubleshooting. We're doing the same thing for host and for virtual machines. So here we're pulling together, really the big four in terms of monitoring: CPU, memory, disk, and network, and providing performance information that again is context sensitive within the task pane, and I can use that to help me figure out, if these are abnormally high figures for your environment, figure out why that might be. For hosts, for virtual machines, I can then drill into individual resources and see more detailed information at a dashboard level for those particular resources. So, let me just pick an example here of hosts. So you can see that we're able to split the hosts out by hardware model. So you can see that we're using a couple of Dell servers here, or it could be by vSphere build version, and again summarized with health state. And then of course I can drill in and see performance dashboarding as well. So top host for CPU. So for example, seeing co-stop as a percentage or CPU ready as a percentage is something that's really useful for me. So I can simply see the sort of top 10 there. In this case, I only have 4 hosts, and the same is true for disk and memory and network. And we can even see that. I'll just show memory here. So memory used, swap rate, pressure, etc. And we can even see that for virtual machines. So I really like this because it helps give me a spread of where my virtual machines actually are, where the virtual machines are actually, where those workloads are actually running right now. And I can quickly identify if particular hosts have been overloaded or seem to be running an abnormally high number of VMs relative to the rest of the hosts that are inside my environment. So really, the dashboarding that's inside the Veeam Management Pack for VMware is about giving you that big picture. It's laid out in a sensible and logical way so that at a glance, an administrator or an operator can see where the key areas are in their VMware environment to focus on to make sure they're getting the best out of their virtualization investment. Thank you.